Babylon Bee fires their VP of marketing via Twitter after he gets into a Twitter fight with a DeSantis staffer. Gavin Barrio Wax is out at VP right now. He said, "Hey, Christina Paschal, what's your fucking problem?" Seth Dillon, his boss at the Babylon Bees, said, "What's yours?" Apparently didn't like him talking to her that way. Tweeting like this with the bee in your bio doesn't work for me. And so a lot of people were confused, like, what exactly is he mad at Christina Paschal for? At least I was, and terrible on Twitter here. I'll break us down for that. Prior to this, the DeSantis supporting Babylon Bee employees, including Christina Paschal, were liking tweets making false claims about Gavin Wax. He defended himself and was immediately publicly fired by Seth Dillon, who could have reprimanded him privately. And specifically, I don't know that other Babylon Bee employees were actually liking these tweets. That's what Tara says. I don't believe Gavin at Wax has made that claim, but he was specifically calling out Christina, who is a staffer for DeSantis. "Hey, Christina Paschal, why did you like this tweet? Is there something wrong with the fact that I worked at Getter? Between arguing with 16-year-olds and now this, lowly losers." So apparently the tweet in question here, Gavin Mario Wax used to receive a paycheck that was financed by Ho Wan Kwok, also known as Miles Wow. He apparently was arrested for orchestrating over a $1 billion fraud conspiracy. And people on Twitter think that, people should ask him about that, implying that he knows something about it. Maybe he was involved. And Gavin doesn't particularly like people implying that he has done anything illegal. You can't say that I blame him. But here's the interesting thing. Is there selective outrage over foul language from the Babylon Bee? What do their other employees have a history of doing? Well, this according to Chief Trumpster, he comes in hot with receipts. Morgan is a wizard. Staffer on Babylon Bee literally shut the fuck up. Fuck off. You know nothing about me. Fuck off. So here's a situation where she is definitely defending herself. And all Gavin was doing was calling this out. And they didn't like that. Turns out that Morgan doesn't give a fuck about Ashley Babbitt being shot on January 6th, too. We are taught to value all human life. Is this sweet Christian? Babylon Bee is a Christian organization. Hey, Seth Dillon, do you give a fuck about Ashley Babbitt or the January 6th political prisoners? Respond. And he hasn't. I don't give a fuck about her. She was warned many times to not proceed forward or she would be shot. So, does Seth Dillon feel the same moral outrage when his employees tweet anti-white racism or tweet negative things about dead female veterans? Or is that moral outrage only reserved for Trump supporter who said a curse word? So in the midst of all of this, there is a reminder about how the DeSantis campaign has in the past been paid. The DeSantis campaign in the past has paid the Babylon Bee for various things. Here's a text that apparently was sent to Laura Loomer. You could consider us speechwriting consultants. We help them find funny angles on Democrats. We don't attack Trump for him. That's silly and false. They have never even suggested that we write anything about Trump. And she posted this back on February 7th. And so here's more on that. I texted Seth Dillon, asked him if he was being paid by DeSantis to attack Trump. He denied getting paid to trash Trump, but when I pressed him, he confirmed to me Governor Ron DeSantis' PAC paid the Babylon Bee for consulting, joke/speech writing, and helping him find funny angles. So she's kind of conferring that that tweet, that this image here, seems to confirm that. So do they primarily just have a problem with the fact that that he's getting into a Twitter spat with someone who works for somebody that gives them a lot of money? Or have they suddenly started having issues with the kind of language that their employees can use? And one thing that I thought was definitely interesting is that Ashley St. Clair has changed her Twitter bio, and as a result of all this, occasionally funny, author of Elephants Are Not Birds, doer of things, views and naughty words, not representative of my employer. Well, I mean, Seth Dillon, in this particular instance, felt that they were enough that he had to fire his VP of marketing. I don't really know what that's all about. So, what do you think? Do you think he's being fired for being a outspoken Trump supporter? As multiple tweets by him have implied, and because they are so pro DeSantis because of all the money that they get from him, that they just couldn't have that, and they use this as an excuse to wash their hands of him, so to speak. Let me know in the comments. But a lot of companies, they do have. I got one once. A social media policy memo that I had to read and sign that I understood. I've gotten those on one or two occasions. But for whatever reason, the tweets that have been mentioned here by the chief Trumpster, they didn't have a problem with it then, so what is the issue now? Let me know what you think in the comments. It's a good question. And hopefully, maybe at some point, DeSantis and Trump supporters, there are in many ways that I think we all want the same thing. So hopefully, eventually, we can all get along.